Hi, Jakub again, and let's just jump straight into the second problem from today's problem set, second example. What we have is we have two doors, and they both have the same thing written on them. Both statements say, there is treasure behind both doors. So it might be a bit easier because, well, either both of those statements are true or both are false because they are the same. So they cannot have different, different truth values. They must all both be true, both false, but it doesn't tell us anything about the position of the treasure or the trap before we read what our guide has to say. And the guide actually says something more complicated. It says that the statement is true if there's treasure behind when it comes to the door on the left, right? But when it comes to the door on the right, it's actually the opposite. The true statement means there's a trap behind it. A false statement would mean there's a treasure behind it, right? So this, because both statements are the same, we have to, we have to rely on the guide, on the hint, to actually solve this problem, because we cannot really get anything from just saying that there's treasure behind those, right? So let's think about it, right? What do we know? Well, we know that this statement here, when it's applied to this door, tells us there is a treasure behind this door, if it's true, right? But if it's true, then according to the guide, there should be a trap behind it, right? If it's true, there is a trap behind it because it says that there's if it's true, there's a trap behind it because this is what the guide says, but the statement states that there's a treasure behind it. So they cannot be both trap and treasure behind this door. So there is a contradiction here, right? This doesn't work, right? It doesn't work because the statement says there's a treasure behind it, but if the statement is true, there must be a treasure behind it, right? There must be a trap behind it because this is what the guide said, right? So we know from the contradiction that the statement on the door must be false. And because it's false, the other one is also false. Both statements are false because they are the same, right? And because we know that both statements are false, we can now determine where the treasure is, right? Because the treasure must be behind the right door, because behind this door, the treasure is here if the statement is false, and the trap is here if the statement is true. But this one is the opposite. The treasure is here if the statement is true, and the trap is here if the statement is false. We know both statements are the same, they're both false, so that means the trap is here and the treasure is here, right? I hope that wasn't too confusing. It's just an application of logic, and see you soon in the third example.